Let's start with what we saw that was good. And of course, you can't say good and or great without mentioning Wemby, because that's exactly what he was in the first round game, or the first game of this series. What impressed you the most? Because there could be nerves associated with playing in the postseason for the first time. He just never shows any of that when we see him.
So, yeah, we could talk about Wemby all day, but I think when you look at this team, they have so much depth, and to win in today's game, you have to have depth on your roster. I thought San Antonio has done a great job of surrounding Wemby with the talent. OKC has that depth. You know, these teams are like, I don't know if you go to carnivals and it's this one game where the thing pops out and you got to hit it, and it pops out somewhere you got to hit. Whack 'em. Yeah, whack 'em. Yo, this is the San Antonio Spurs, because you don't know who is going to be the guy for the night. Vassell, in the third quarter the other night, opened the game up with 8 straight points. And tonight, it could be, Harper. It could be this guy. You don't know who to really game plan outside of Wemby, because all these guys can have their night, and that is hard to game plan for.
Well, Portland shot with 10 for 38 from the 3. And
Wemby had a lot to do with that.
Of course. Then, Avia had, 30 and 10. He did with his part. We didn't see Drew. We didn't see... Well, we saw him, but we didn't see any production from Drew. We didn't see any production from Jeremy Grant. Like, Klingon we didn't see production from him. He would seem like he was confused on how to guard Wemby. I think Wemby put him in a lot of kind of compromising situations on the court to make him think, to make Klingon think. You have to fix that up. If Klingon don't find a better way to I say, bother Wemby, then we know that San Antonio will win the series, but this series is over quick if he don't figure out a way how to at least just bother Wemby. I'm not saying stop him, but you got to try to bother him a little bit more.
T-Mac was talking about the physicality, making him feel you a little bit more. Go ahead, VC.
I mean, the San Antonio Spurs are a tight-knit group that understands each other, and they're a young team, but I've said this before. I think Wemby's confidence is what puts them over the hump and makes him a tough guard, because he believes in himself. He believes in what he brings on the floor. I mean, when you watch them play, he's very unselfish. They are very unselfish, but they play off of each other. They understand, for Wemby's ability to shoot the 3, the floor is wide open, so they have guards that can get into the paint. They have guys that shoot the ball, like you said, and they understand. Defensively, you just do your job and send them one way. We know typical San Antonio defense, and they have that guy down there that protects the paint, and then they get out and run. So they understand who they are, and they go out there and play within themselves, and they're not doing anything outside of what we've seen all season. It was great to see them come in suits all together. They didn't do it this game too, but that's just saying we're together, we're into the fight, and it was dark. It was dark night. They were ready to go to business.
I want y'all to understand how elite this man defense is, because I'm sure they wanted Donovan Klingon to shoot more threes. He only got off 3 threes, right? They want to stretch the floor and keep Wemby, on that perimeter. This man can be in a drop coverage. He could slow down the guard coming off a pick and roll. And close out. And still close out to the shooter. And then meet you at the rim. Like, we haven't seen this. So that's like covering so much ground. That's
and you as a defender, that makes you feel good knowing that, hey, I can almost be over-aggressive. Over-aggressive, yes. Because I know my help is there. I just got to make sure I box out the big when he goes for a block shot.
San Antonio Spurs.
The NBA, maybe in all of sports, is Victor Wembanyama. Yesterday was officially named Defensive Player of the Year and made history. He is the first player ever to win that award unanimously. He led the league with 197 blocks. Michael Wilbon is in the Hall of Fame, in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I had the honor and the delight of working on the NBA coverage with you for 2 years.
Fun, didn't we?
You've got more stories than anybody covering the league going back to the 70s. What are we seeing in Victor Wembanyama?
A singular talent, personality, attraction, entertainer, great basketball player. I love the fact that he had tears, shed them during the Olympics last year when they lost. Well, didn't they lose the cup tournament game?
Yes,
to the next. Okay, you know who that reminds me of. I'm old enough that reminds me of young Jordan, young Bird, guys who hated to lose more than they loved to win. Wembanyama has that gene. But the greatness, I mean, the backstory, going to see Olajuwon, spending time with monks. I mean, it's just this kid is willing and ready and able to mine anything and everything. And there are two athletes right now, to me, that are just on a worldwide stage almost by themselves. Shohei Ohtani and Wemby. You can take them in any order. If you get a chance to watch them, stop what you're doing and watch them. You don't have to be a Spurs fan. The other night, when you see David Robinson, I've known David Robinson since he was in high school. I covered him when he was a senior in high school in Northern Virginia. I've seen his whole life. For David Robinson, who has a zillion interests outside basketball, right? As great as he was. For David Robinson and Tim Duncan to sit there, that was not some coincidence. These are the old goats watching the Billy Goat. And he is, there's nobody I care to watch right now in any sport as much as Victor Wembanyama.
Box office. Couldn't say it any better than that. Wembanyama and the Spurs with a 1-0 lead in their series. Take a short break. We're rolling on. Back.
Impressive playoff debut. This his third season. 35 points in Game 1. That is the most by a Spurs player in their playoff debut, previously held by Tim Duncan. What impressed you most about Wemby's performance in Game 1, Perk?
Well, the thing that has impressed me the most, not just in Game 1, but throughout the course of this season, is his growth. Being a big man and with guard skills, he has now embraced actually being a big man and being dominant. We saw in Game 1 that he was attacking the paint at first, finding ways to get to the basket, and then all of a sudden it opened up things for him on the outside, and that's the Wemby that you love, right? You want him to find that balance of inside out offensively. We know what kind of player he is defensively. That's why he got the Defensive Player of the Year award. But offensively, if he's going to dominate that in that fashion and have that balance, then it's going to be hell in hot water, not only in this series, but for the rest of the playoffs for everybody that he faces.
And it's interesting. I think you mentioned it and Wendy mentioned it. It wasn't even like a standard Wemby game because he had 35 points, but only in his standards, 5 boards and 1 assist. He normally averages nearly 12 boards a game. All right, to a player that's not in the playoffs this season, Perk, that would be Giannis. He posted this last night. Let's read between the lines. Year 13, this has been one of the toughest seasons of my career, but as they say, like a phoenix from the ashes, pregnant pause on purpose there, I'll rise to the city of Milwaukee, my city. Thank you for the unwavering love and support. Feels like a goodbye. I don't know, Perk. What do you make of what Giannis hit the internet with last night?
At this point, I don't even care. Like I'm over the top. No, seriously, I'm over the top with Giannis and the whole Milwaukee situation, man. I mean, like that whole situation is dysfunctional. It's confusing. Giannis don't really know if he's going or coming. At this point, if he stays in Milwaukee, good for him. If he don't, good for him. I don't even give a damn.